Scene 22, The Ladder, from Aftershocks, directed by Jade.
On the day the earthquake struck, Vic Brown was trapped, up in her office for 40 minutes. To John Constable, it felt like 5 minutes.
The story of Lynn Brown's rescue.
I ran up around past the bistro and back up the fire escape, which leads to bar 4. And anyway, as soon as I got to the top of the fire escape, the first set, the fire escape, there was nothing. Bar 4 was not there. And Lynn was up on the next flat. And I've gone, oh no. And I've looked up there, and there's this small pigeonhole. And that's where Lynn's office was. I came up the fire escape there, and it broke off along there. It was just a very thin ledge. And I've gone, oh fuck no. Fuck. And I've gone, Lynn, just a wail. And she's gone, yes? Where are ya? I've looked up, and here's this little pigeonhole, and she's just popped her head over then and gone, help. Stay there.
He was swearing, and that, John doesn't do that normally, particularly in front of me, because he knows I'd give him a smack for it. I couldn't see him, see? I could only hear him, underneath me, right down the bottom. And I yelled out to him, John, you're swearing. Oh, no, sorry, he said.
And I've looked down, and there are these 2 waterboard guys moving away with the ladder. And I've whistled out, and I said, hey, give me that ladder up here. So what we ended up doing was there was this rubble here, all here. Ended up putting the legs just off into the rubble. And one of the waterboy guys just sat there with his hands into the rubble. And we tracked it up to Lynn's office. And the other one put all his weight behind the ladder, got it up on that slight ledge, and put all his weight behind the ladder.
They virtually just held it in midair, and John climbed the ladder with the guys holding it, and he jumped over into my office and just grabbed hold of me. Don't ask me how I got over the ladder, but I just had to go over to the ladder. And he just kept on talking, going from one thing to another. He was still very hyped up, but when he reached me, he seemed to settle a little bit more. He probably felt that the shoe was on the other foot. At the moment, he was probably able to do something for me for a change.
I said, I'll go first and you can come down sort of in front of me. Anyway, I've gone down and she couldn't get down fast enough. I thought I was going to go right off her skirt.
And John maneuvered me down this ladder, and they said, step out onto this ledge. I put one foot out, and then the ledge went out. So I had to go back on the ladder, and we went down a bit further. That's where they jammed the door in, between the carpet and some rubble. And a workman was standing there behind that, and I had to jump over to the door, and so he had his arms out, and it was only a little space that I had to jump over to. And all of a sudden I saw these stairways sticking out from nowhere. I had to jump around onto that then. And then John followed me down the ladder. He followed me down the ladder, and when we got halfway down the stairs, he just sort of grabbed hold of me and sort of, went to pieces.
She gave me a big cuddle, and I gave her a cuddle, a pretty tight one. I'm sitting there cuddling her, and we were walking down past the kiosk, the bistro. And she says, is anyone hurt? And I said, no, not that I know of.
We got through the club. He wouldn't let me look at anything, He sort of covered me head while we went through. But the only thing I do remember seeing was money. Just money, everywhere, when we got to the doorway of the club. I waded through it as I was coming out. 10-cent, 20-cent coins they would have been. And there was a lot of them, scrunching under your feet.
I've got her out, and they're still pulling people out. And I'm in the middle of the street, and they're saying, just stay here, John. You've done your job. Just stay here. There's still people screaming in there.
He took me right out to the street. I can remember walking out of the front doors, and then I was swamped by people, arms around you. And John just quietly slipped away. He must have, because I don't remember seeing him. I know now that he went back inside the club.